Good evening and welcome to A Cook's Tour and to Johan Svensson from Drinks Fusion, who is here to teach us a thing or two about an old-fashioned, but with a twist. Hi Johan.
Good evening, good to be here.
Great to have you here. Come on, what are we making this evening?
Well, this evening we're making a twist on the very classic cocktail, the old-fashioned.
Yes.
But we're doing something quite particular. We are flavouring it with smoky bacon.
You can't be serious.
Indeed I am. That and some pickled apples.
Wow.
So it's all about flavour.
Gosh, new levels of cocktail making.
Indeed.
So what have we got in these little bottles of potions and lotions in front of us?
So we have here is the actual old-fashioned prepared.
Yeah.
Here is a pickle of apple and a little bit of fennel, and that's homemade orange bitters. So you're going to use all these components to make your old-fashioned with.
Great. Well, should we get started?
Yes, indeed, we should. So first of all, we're using bourbon, which is as American as it's going to get. It is, we're using Eagle Rare 10-year-old, and what I've done is I've infused it by pan frying smoky bacon, letting the fat drip into the whiskey, leave it in the freezer for about 3 days with a bit of maple syrup. They're also smoked with a bit of cherry wood. And then you sort of strain it off, and it has this absolutely fantastic flavour.
Wow, so in this bottle is bacon fat, cherry wood and maple.
Yes, and the Eagle Rare 10-year.
How incredible.
So let's make should we make the drink?
Yeah.
So as usual, ice is extremely important when it comes to making old-fashioned. I always talk about ice.
You do, you always talk about ice.
But you want to have some really good chunky ice, not watery, and you want to have some really good chunky glasses, because the old-fashioned is all about controlling your dilution and letting flavors evolve. So I'm going to be using these quite big ice cubes, and I'm using a traditional mixing glass. If you haven't got that at home, you can use something like a pint glass or similar. And I'm sort of filling it up with ice till about...
We're going sort of halfway. This is one of the, I mean, this mixing glass is one of those sort of apparatus that you really should have at home.
Yes.
It just completes the sort of, you know, the drinks cabinet, doesn't it?
Completely. And one of the things with it is that it conducts heat differently than metal. So it's an insulator, so it dilutes slower than if you were to use metal. So it's perfect for stirring martinis, old-fashions, or anything like that. So we're going to turn to your old-fashioned bottle. You
love your beautiful wax seals, don't you?
I know, I know. A little bit careful here.
Yeah. You like to make work hard for yourself, don't you?
I know, indeed. But it's got to be, you know, it's all about the momentum.
Yeah.
And so cut into the wax a little bit, and then just take it off. And you can smell the bacon coming through there and the lovely smoke.
Oh, you really can.
It's really
subtle, like sort of Saturday morning.
Exactly, exactly. And so we're doing one for you, one for I.
So what is that, 50 ml?
50 ml, and I would say you need about 60, 65-ish.
Okay.
So let's go another 25 then for 2, right?
Mm.
So, with the old-fashioned, I even put a little bit more ice in there.
Yeah.
Because the more ice you have, the slower it melts. And this is extremely important when it comes to stirring it. There's a lot of talk about how you should make an old-fashioned, stir it, you know, 100 times each way or for 2 minutes, whatever it is. Old-fashioned is all about understanding the flavors in your whiskey or rum or whatever it is you're using. And the more you dilute it, the more it opens up. So I always say an old-fashioned should be all about a flavor journey. So you shouldn't over dilute it. That's the trick. You should dilute it just perfectly, right? So I am now going to add a little bit of the pickled apple. So you can do it to taste. And remember, with sweetness, you can always add, but you can't take it out. So maybe start with like something like that.
So what's that? 4 bar spoons.
3, 4 bar spoons. So that's about 10 ml per drink.
What's in the pickle?
So that is apple, and that's been pickled with apple vinegar, maple syrup, a little bit of mustard seed, fennel and bay leaves. And it's been sitting for about a month to extract.
Love that.
And not forget, you need your other modifier here, your bitters, which is a barrel-aged orange bitters that we've been making also for about a month. It's been sitting in small oak barrels in our little kitchen. So maybe a few drops like that. And it should really open up. You could try a little bit of it here as well. Just a little bit, touch like that.
Yeah.
And it's all about orange zest and orange oils.
Oh, yes.
So, now I'll put my fingers once again slightly above the liquid line here.
Yeah.
Start stirring it.
And what are you looking to feel?
Magic. Magic. This is years of practice. So I stir it for maybe 20, 30 seconds to start getting really cold.
Okay.
And the key thing here as well, like it's hard to explain, but you don't want it to get too watery. Something like that. You can feel it here now. You can see the frostiness on the glass.
Yep.
Then you take a big chunky glass, same thing here, big ice cubes, as dry as possible.
I love your glassware.
I know, these are serious stuff that I got out of the drinks cabinet just for the occasion.
Yeah, I want to put on my slippers and sit by the fire and, you know, drink the night away.
Exactly. So bourbon is maybe just a little bit about it here. Well, I
was going to ask actually, what's the difference between bourbon and whiskey?
Well, bourbon is a whiskey, but it has to be made in the US and it's made from a base of corn as opposed to barley, which is a sweeter, bigger grain, perfect for what we're doing now as well. And the other thing, the menu that Ryan is cooking is absolutely perfect for that flavor profile. And the other thing that is that's unique for bourbon is that they have to age it in brand new white oak casks.
Right.
So you have a really big, powerful flavor. New means that nothing has been in the wood before. So you get really, really big, powerful wood characters coming through it. So bourbon is all about big flavors, and it's perfect for what we've done now when we have infused it with the bacon. It goes beautifully well together. And you have also a flavor grain, which is wheat or rye. Rye is a little bit spicier, so Eagle Rare has rye in it. And then sometimes you have wheat, which is a little bit sweeter. So we go for a slightly spicier element here. Strain it.
Looking good. That beautiful sort of caramelly colour, isn't it?
Indeed. And top them up with a bit of fresh ice.
Yeah. And it's interesting, isn't it? That, I mean, this has got bacon and fat in it. How does alcohol take on flavours so well?
Alcohol has an amazing ability, just as if you make liqueurs or anything like that, has an amazing ability to absorb flavour. It's like it's almost really holds it together. So that's also why the old fashioned is such a particular drink, because now you can see I haven't over diluted it. So when you drink it, you're going to get like a quite big push of the alcohol initially and the bourbon and the big characteristics of the drink. But as it then melts, it will evolve and change. You get more mellow and you start getting more of the apple notes and the maple coming through, and it gets softer. So that's what I mean, but it should be like a journey to drink it. It shouldn't be too watery. You should savor it. It should keep evolving. So let's garnish it.
Okay.
Now we've got something quite special here. Ryan has been very kind and sorted out a bit of bacon for us.
I love it. So
You know,
what is this? Is sort of crispy copper?
Exactly, crispy copper.
The one that got away. Oh, come on.
There. Go on.
Well done.
So we're doing
Good tweezer
like
skills.
I know.
Brilliant.
Here we go. And we'll put like, I don't know, maybe a little leaf on it.
What have you got sort of nestled in there? Those are marigold leaves,
marigold leaves, which I think goes really well with the kind of theme. And the other one here is pineapple sage.
Yeah.
That's pressed. And then just a little dehydrated apple on there.
Beautiful.
And there you go. Really simple. I mean, simplicity is always what it is with garnishes.
Yeah.
So all in all, that's what an old-fashioned is. So an old-fashioned is one of the most argued about drinks in the world, but it's also just really simple. That's why it's so difficult, if that makes sense, because it really is about understanding your whiskey or rum or whatever it is you're using.
Well, I love I love the uniqueness of this, the fact that every element is home crafted by you, and
yes,
you've created a drink that is very specific to this destination. So what is the inspiration behind the drink?
Well, I thought the sort of blue smoke, the whole kind of the big flavours. I really thought the smoky bacon and the craft element with it would be absolutely fantastic with it. And then I got a little bit carried away. I thought, the pickles were really fun to, get the apple flavours in there to match as well with the bacon. I just think it goes really well with the rice menu.
Can I?
Of course.
Can I? Okay, here we go.
This is like a Sunday brunch in a glass.
Yes, that's good. It is. It's a Sunday brunch in a glass, and I love the fact that it's a bit of a sort of a pick and mix too.
Yes.
So you can play around with the pickles, you can play around with the orange bitters.
Yes, you can. As I said, you could always add a little bit more. So if you think you want a little bit more sweetness in there, you can put a touch more of the pickles, because the sweet pickles got quite a bit of maple in there, and the same as well with the bitters. But the thing to always remember with making these drinks is, just as with cooking, if you add too much of something, it's really hard to adjust it. Yeah. So you start a little bit light, and then you add a bit more, and you get used to it. But it's really fun, because you can sort of get it as
it's a great drink and really delicious. Thank you very much, Johan. I'm going to keep these here on set, because in a few minutes Ryan, of course, will be joining us for the cook along, and I think he should definitely try that. He'll absolutely love it, and it might get a bit more smoke and fire. I
mean, he's made the garnish without knowing.
Exactly. So thank you very much, Johan. Great to have you here, and everyone at home, I hope you enjoy your old fashions, and we shall see you shortly for the cook along. Good evening and a warm welcome to a cook's tour with Rocket and our first destination, the Basque Country.
Vegetables, and as you can see, sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. And what I want you to do is put the space there, pop yolk right in the middle.
Good evening and a warm welcome to a cook's tour with Rocket and to our next destination, Texas Blue Smoke. My name is Charlie Grant Peterkin and I'm here, like you, to learn from the master, Ryan Stafford. Good evening, Ryan.
Smoke master tonight, mister.
You are the smoke master.
This is my time. I am very well.
Good. Okay, so Texas, the Lone Star State, 10th biggest economy in the world. Big trucks, big houses, big food portions. Houston, Tex-Mex, tornadoes, rattlesnakes, scorpions, birthplace of Dr. Pepper, vast cattle ranches, Dallas, both the city and the soap opera, oil, guns, and snow.
Wow.
Buckle up, cowboys and curl girls. It's Texas Blue Smoke, and hey, we have got a sheriff in town.
Really?
There you go, boss.
Well, I tell you what, now I've definitely got to make some smoke tonight. I'm ready.
Come on, Texas Blue Smoke, Ryan.
Yeah.
What is this all about?
I think we've been waiting for this, Charlie. I think everyone at a cook store and you guys have been waiting to put a label on the Blue Smoke. And you know what? We just had to stop there. It was a destination we couldn't ignore.
It's true.
America is famous for smoke pits, beautiful flavors, slow cooking in a slow country that has a fast city like Houston, Texas. You know, it's an amazing place, and what a perfect place to go to represent all those smoky flavours.
Brilliant. Well, here we go. Remember, you can cook along now, you can cook later, and a warm welcome to everyone cooking on Friday. Great to have you on board. There's the live chat for any questions. Please post away and Michael will come back to you. And of course the space bar if you need to pause at any moment. We have the instruction booklet which you can follow along all the recipes that we're working on through this evening. And of course we have our social handles. So please post photographs of your fabulous creations using the hashtag #CookWithRocket and tag a cook's tour. And of course there will be a prize of a free box to our next destination for the most of creative presentation adjudged by Chef Ryan. Ovens on, please, everyone, to 180 degrees. And for tonight, it might be worth putting your instructions on as well. Ryan, what's on the menu?
So we've got some fantastic things on the menu, and it is meat, meat, smoke, smoke. So let's go into it. We've got some beautiful pork collar, which again is all about the fat and the marinade beforehand with some nice salty cheese and some beer pickles we'll come to. That's got a great kind of smoke element. We have got some brisket, which is over here. And then we've got a beautiful whiskey jus to go with that, some beautiful vegetables for a crunchy slaw, some sticky jack potatoes with
an enormous sweet potato.
It's an American potato.
Yeah.
I would not have it any other way. And we have got a beautiful caramelised honey garlic yogurt with some leeks and barbecue beans to finish. Not to mention the special edition for tonight.
Yes.
6 dishes. The guest of honour is a pan skillet cookie. So we'll get a little bit more about that later on.
It's the bonus track. Well, we should get things started. And first of all, we're going to smoke your butt.
We are going to smoke the butt. Do you know what? We get away with this because we are dads.
We are.
But it's going to be one of those kind of shows, I think. So let's get our butt smoking. And with that, we need a pan. Guys, so we thought about everybody at home. We've got induction hobs. We've got fancy cookers, small cookers. Maybe you're in the garden just going big on your campfire right now. Whatever it is, you need to get yourself a pan. So you can probably see in there, and you can see I've got 2 spoons. You can go and get 2 forks now.
Yeah.
2 corkscrews, anything that hasn't got a lacquer on it, so just 2 metal objects that are going to allow you to form almost like a little bit of a rack in there.
Okay.
Hopefully this is a solution for everybody. And then we're going to go. some amazing wood chips. So these are.
This is not for tasting.
This is not for tasting. Well, you can have a little go if you want. So we just want to sprinkle those evenly around the pan.
Great.
And we're going to do a little bit of smoking here. We're going to go straight in, no messing around, Mr. Charlie.
Yes.
We're going to go in and we're going to get smoking ourselves. So we're going to get in there our Boston butt, which is a pork collar. We're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. But first things first, we want to create our little smoke chamber.
Yep.
Now you get these smoke chambers, thousands of pounds, big Q pits in Boston, big fire pits down in Texas. But we're going to use a pan tonight, and we're going to get a little bit funky in the kitchen, get a little bit of fun with an easy solution to all of that. You can get these chips in a lot of places online, really easy. So we want to make a little funnel there. We just want to seal around the edges. So we've now got in there our pork, we've got our wood chips on the base. The pork is not touching the base. And we've got a pan. We want to make sure it's really nicely sealed. And notice that I'm leaving a little bit of a lip there, guys. Really, really important. This is our little chimney that is going to indicate when we get smoke. It's going to take about 2.5 minutes on the stove. So let's get that on. Full heat now.
High heat.
High heat, because we are in Texas and we are smoking. Let's get that on there.
Brilliant.
So we're going to come back to that in a little while.
Okay.
And we can just touch base on that onto the next dish already. So we've got some brisket here. We've got some whiskey jus here. 2 elements, couldn't be more simple. Get yourself a saucepan. Charlie, have a little waft in there.
I'd love to.
I love it, and I'll hit these. So in your whiskey jus, you've got some bourbon, you've got some beef stock, you've got a little bit of, not traditional, this is my recipe, you've got some apple in there, some onion, some garlic, some shallot, a little bit of ketchup, you've got a little touch of soy in there, Worcester sauce to add a really spiky, tangy, appley, amazing little jar of goodness just to go on this smoky, beautiful brisket that's been cooking for 22 hours.
22 hours.
22 hours, so,
yeah. So you had 2 hours kit, did you?
Yeah, exactly. No, literally left and then came back in. Done. So we're going to pop that into some water, sous vide style. So we're going to pop that in there, turn that on. This is a little bit, I don't like the term boil in a bag, I prefer the chefier term. Sous vide. Sous vide. So we're just going to submerge that down to the bottom. And that's just going to heat. It's cooked, it's been cooking for a long time, Charlie. So we just want to pop that in there and heat it up. And also, just a little bit of a Bay Marie number. Maybe just weigh that down a little bit with the whiskey jus.
Ah, good thinking. So you can warm the jus through at the same time.
After Nordic, you know, a couple of shows back, people were saying there's a lot of pans going on, so I'm listening to you guys at home, trying to make your lives a little bit easier so we can enjoy the good things, which are smoking.
How's your smoking? Should we bring it over here? Let's pop it under the...
Bring it over. So as you can see there, it's sizzling. That's a little bit of fat dropping from the heat. And the smoke's there now. So that's took a few minutes. Don't worry, guys, if yours is not going yet. Just give it a few more minutes on high heat and make sure it's really, really sealed up.
Okay.
Just going to get a little bit more foil there. Now the reason we need to seal it up is because the nature of what we're doing is smoking, obviously, so we just need to make sure we've got a real nice seal there. And the reason we wait for the smoke is just so that we're guaranteed smoke. So we're going to pop that on there like so.
Yep.
I'm going to pop the timer on and I'm going to give that on full heat about another 3 minutes. So.
Okay, 3 minutes on high heat.
Yeah. So 3 minutes on a high heat, it's going to go real smoky. We're going to turn it off. We're just going to leave it for 20 minutes and pop it in the oven.
I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling a little bit anxious about this.
Are you? You should be. I've put you through your paces now. So
you have.
For the next dish, smoked onion butter. That is for another dish. So this next dish, guys, couldn't be easier.
This is the sticky jack potato.
Yeah, and these are literally from North Carolina. We wouldn't get sweet potatoes from anywhere else. They're, you know, equatorial vegetable, originally from South America, the north part of South America. But they grow all over and they grow great in America. And I'd only take American ones for this. Just playing true to American cuisine.
So top and tail.
So the reason I'm going to go a little bit old school with this is because I forgot a peeler today.
Oh. Sheriff.
No, I forgot a peeler. So if you've got a peeler at home, make your lives easy. I'm going to pop a little tray down here with a little bit of parchment because we're going to get butter, we're going to get sticky. In here, if you just want to be an absolute gent while I'm peeling this potato, and you guys at home are peeling your potatoes, you just want to take the skin off. I find the skin, you don't have to remove it all, but on sweet potatoes, it's a lot tougher than normal potato skin.
Oh, hello, what's in here?
It looks like cookie dough, doesn't it?
It does, just like that.
On purpose, because we're clever sausages. But it's brown sugar, butter. And what we've done is we've burnt a little bit of the butter first.
Yes.
Mixed it with raw butter, and then we put some brown sugar through. So this is going to be a real beautiful mess. So we've got 1.5 minutes, so we're going to go
1 minute left on the smoking clock.
We have, yeah. So I'm just going to peel this down, guys. Hopefully you'll peel in your sweet potato. If you leave a little bit of skin on, don't worry. Just a lot of sweet potato skin. I find it gets a little bit woody. I don't enjoy it. And plus we want that sweet flesh to caramelise, and the more of that that's exposed to the butter and the heat, the better. So.
God, they look good. I love sweet potato.
Yeah, and do you know what, sweet potato? So in Texas, this dish is called candied or pit potatoes, and it's because they serve it with meat, and with pit roasted meats, and also they do it with brown sugar, maple syrup, any sugar really, but darker the sugar, the better it's going to be. So straight down the middle. Okay. Chopping down a couple of trees, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should have my checkered trucker top on today with my sheriff badge, looking all the part. So, just want to get that down into chunks.
Okay.
Oh, getting a little sweat.
Oh, well done. Good workout.
So.
Yeah, I can see there's a little bit of skin left on there, so you're not worried about that. You are worried about the timer. So it's had 2 minutes.
It's had 2 minutes now.
Okay.
You can hear it popping away. That's just the fat kind of releasing a little bit. Okay. It's all going to add to the beautiful kind of smoke. By the time I finish this potato, we're just going to take the pork off and we're just going to leave it. You've now created a smoke chamber, and that's the intention. That's what we want to do. And that the Boston butt, which is originates from, it's not Texan. It's literally pork collar, which we used some shows back. We used it. When was it? Was it Venice?
Oh gosh, we tested it.
We had the cured. So it was a while back now. We had the copper, yeah, and that was a cured version of what we've used there. And again, the intramuscular kind of fat to meat ratio is perfect. Guys, couldn't be easier. Bonk. On top you go.
I could have done that.
That was a bit of a Charlie moment, wasn't it? No disrespect. But there we go, straight into the oven, 180. That simple. And that's it. We're going to revisit those in about 30 minutes or so.
Oh, I can't wait to see what that butter's going to do to all that.
And our pork now, there's a perfect time here to turn that off.
But we can't really have a look, can we? Because that's going to interrupt things. So
it's a bit of a, here's one I made earlier, but if we can see that on set, we're just going to put a tray there. Just move it aside now onto your pan rack or somewhere off the stove, and that's just going to smoke away. It's actually, there's a lot of heat in there now as well, so it is a little bit of chamber. We're going to revisit that later, and we're just going to pop it in the oven for 10 minutes. And it's already cooked. It's just going to be melt in your mouth consistency.
Is there anything else we need to do to the potato, or is that it for now?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it. So onto the leek.
Dreamy.
I like to call this little elephant's foot. As a dad, you can see why.
Yeah, I can see why.
So just trim any bit of that off that looks a little bit gnarly. And then the top bit, it's almost like a tree we've sent you. Fan us down, fan the smoke away. So basically you want to take where kind of the green, now this bit, you can use it in a soup. It is quite wasteful, taking it all away, but you can wash it down. You get quite a lot of dirt in here and grit, as you can see there. So do keep it. I'm not going to use it today. Maybe you can take it home, Charlie, and do something magical with it. But
chuck it in the stock pot.
Yeah, so stock pot's what we use it for. And again, you just want to be careful. You get a little bit of dirt in here.
Okay.
So when you get that kind of little bit that meats there, just take it out. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit, and then straight into the water. Straight in whole. Like that.
Incredible.
Yeah, and that's it. And the reason we keep it whole is so it stays together. I like to call this a barrel, true to Texas. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook that for about 12 minutes. So I'm going to put a little timer on there. So 12 minutes. And we're just going to chill out and have
just hang out and just drink some old fashions. Yeah, why not? So if you missed that bit at home, Ryan got a big saucepan on the go. Yeah. It's a frying pan, really, isn't it? Which you've sort of put in. It is a frying pan, yeah. Hot water. Yeah. And what is the plan? Just to cook it now for 10, 12 minutes? Yeah, if we were in Texas, we'd be drinking lots of bourbon, maybe just smoking cigarettes, old school cowboy style, just watching the leek. But no, what we're trying to do is leek is part of an alum family. It's quite onion and quite raw, so we're just trying to take the intensity out of there. And leek, as you know from like creamy leeks and leek soup, so beautiful and sweet. So we're just getting that rawness out by cooking it for about 12 minutes. Once it's cooked, we're going to drain it and we're going to cut it in half, slit it open like a little bit of a jacket potato, and put all these oozy barbecue beans in it. Oh, that's going to be exciting. So we'll revisit. Okay, we'll revisit. And while we're on that note, with the leek, barbecue beans. Do you know what? This takes the whiskey jus that we've got with the beef. The base of this is the whiskey jus. Really? Yeah. So again, let me just pop this in the pan here and show you guys. Oh, this was the wrong pan that I put on. Right on cue. That's oh dear, I don't know how many cook-alongs are in the studio, but this man still can't work out how to work the hobs. I'm a professional, trust me. Yeah. So in here, so you can see the chunks of apple here. We've got some borlotti, some kidneys, some haricot beans. We've got some chickpeas. As many different beans as you can get in there is great. Now, people think of barbecue beans. I've had these in a local steakhouse, and they are
you know, sticky and sweet. They really shouldn't. You know, you're talking about braised meats here. You're talking about the brisket, you're talking about the pork, and you want some zing in there. And this is an opportunity with the apple, cider vinegar, Worcester sauce, onion, shallots, and all that jazz. There's some apple juice in there as well to really just elevate and almost have a little bit of like lemon to fish moment, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
We're going to pop those beans on there. We can pop those on the lowest heat possible. We're going to put the right stove on here, guys, on the lowest setting. So that's the left stove on setting 1. And then we are going to move on to
the slaw.
The slaw, we are indeed.
Yeah.
So
we've got these fabulous sort of veg over here, don't we? Should I pass them over?
Yeah, now the thing with slaw, Charlie, and for you guys at home, let's get myself a little bowl. I'm running all over the place. So that leek as well, halfway through cooking, we've got a timer on. We probably want to just spin it over. It's a barrel, so it's just going to float. Just knock it over, and so it gets a nice even cooking. So I'm going to pop this here.
Is that everything you need? I think so.
Yeah, I wonder if that's in people's view. Can I pop that down there?
Yep.
So talking about a few ingredients here, we've got, I mean, slaw's one of those people are like, that's not slaw. I usually have carrot and white cabbage. Slaw can be whatever you want. You know, we're kind of like springtime now. You're getting last of the winter vegetables coming through, and you've got some delicious things, late seasonal apples. We've also got some light things like the spring onions. Parsnips are kind of at their best as the cold weather's starting to change a little bit warmer. And they're at their sweetest because obviously you don't really want parsnips in late spring or summer. So we're just going to cut a few of these down. I'll tell you what, Charlie, if I get you a knife, do you want to?
Yeah, I'd love to.
This bowl? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's a grapefruit. It's a pink grapefruit.
It is.
Yeah, good.
Your
Okay.
knowledge. So basically, you're going to take the top off.
Yep.
You're going to take the bottom off. I'll just show you. This
Yeah,
is
show me, because this is a bit of a skills thing.
Yeah.
Top and bottom.
So top and bottom, and then I'll just show you the first one.
Okay.
So really, really close. Beautiful Florida pink grapefruit. Do you know what? There's something about the citrus as well, guys. It's like hypnotic for me. It just brings me alive. I love it. As soon as I get that, it's one of my favourite things. Save the zest. Just keep it. Throw it under some meat. Or
that's a good idea.
Or yeah. So just put anything hot on there now. If you're cooking in the next few days, put that in the fridge and just rest some meat on it. So basically, as you can see there, I've exposed a bit of flesh, and it's just really about methodically just doing that and just repeating and going round. There's a bit of white at the end.
Okay.
Just
and quite a good idea, I guess, to use a serrated knife for this.
Yeah. Yeah, serrated knife definitely with citrus. Just gets through all those kind of like little sinews and fibres really easy. So if you just want to pop your waste in there, that'd be great.
Yeah, I love your knives. They are infinitely sharper than the ones I have.
Not as sharp as some of the chefs I
oh, really?
work with. Yeah, there's some deadly knives around. So just while you're doing that, and the leek is cooking in the background, seems everything's just going in.
You've got everything. You've got everything completely controlled this evening, aren't you?
There's a little bead, a little sweat going on in my head, but
yeah.
under control.
I don't know about you guys at home, but the sort of the smell of smoke is really filling the studio. It's beautiful. We haven't really talked about the wood chip.
Yeah, so the wood chips that went in there, they're oak.
Are they?
They've been soaked in whiskey.
Oh, well, Johan would approve, wouldn't he?
Johan would approve. He'd be really proud of this moment, teaming up with his lovely drink. So I think that, you know, I'm going to be really honest here. Sometimes you get like these whiskey-infused woods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't really pick the whiskey out, but I'm sure the sugars and what they've been soaked in definitely had an element, and you get like a brand new kind of flavour. So just while you're doing that, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You try and get longer strokes of the knife, like almost like a sawing action, small sawing action as you're going down.
Okay.
Just get as much as we can off, and then we will just...
I want to get as much of this the pith off as I can.
Yeah, that's great. And while you're doing that, parsnip, I'm going to leave the skin on. There's going to be loads of people going, skin on.
Is that because you forgot your peeler, or is it actually because you want to leave the skin on?
Because I'm a chef and I'm always coming up with great ideas.
So if you want to peel your parsnip, you can, okay?
But basically, you can matchstick this down. Again, these lovely flavours. You've got apple, grapefruit, all these roots, kind of vibrant spring onion, working perfectly with... just in harmony with each other.
Your leek barrel of prod.
Yeah, so I'm just going to slice this. If you've got a grater or a microplane, honestly, slaw, people think there has to be like the generic one you see in a bit of mayonnaise with carrot, onion and white cabbage. It really, really doesn't. Just get whatever root vegetables you like, cabbages, some nice apples or pears, some butternut squash, and just grate them all. You know, you can be doing what I'm doing now and just... maybe not on this kind of like little fine cheese grater, but just grate them all and just bring them together. I like to get a bit chefy and obviously get a few textures in there. So this is going to be, could you put the waste in there and we'll use that as our slaw bowl?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Just talking about, you know, there we were talking about whiskey and smoke. What do you think about Johan and bacon? infused whiskey.
Yeah,
Are you a thing for that?
He doesn't really stop, does he?
No.
I've never heard of that before, but that's, you know, I'm a bit like that with these Rheinisms, but that's why we like working with Johan. He's got the goods, and his drinks are excellent. I'm a really, really big fan of what he does. So you've got some celeriac here as well. And you can see all the different shapes that we're putting in here.
Yeah.
So again, celeriac, people, honestly, this is nothing to do with the fact that I don't have a peeler, but you can eat celeriac skin as long as it's clean. You get some like little gnarly bits down here that might have soil in, but we've literally jet blasted these for you.
Yes, what's the preparation that we've done at Rocket? Because everything else we've sent as it is.
Yeah, so basically the vegetables obviously we've just washed and just left them as raw as possible, but this brisket, should we start with brisket? Yeah. Brisket, 22 hours. You can really go from about 16 hours to kind of like 24 hours, and you're just looking for the collagens. It's a great kind of, it's got real big, almost like the celery here. It's got great big long strands, and the brisket comes from down here. So if I'm on all fours, I've been told to stop touching you, Charlie. I'm gonna touch my sheriff badge for a minute. But basically on all fours here, and then you've got the brisket that hangs right in front of the you know, the stern on a big, amazing beast that is at a cow's, and then they're just a phenomenal piece of meat. It kind of has a lot of intramuscular fat, which we talk about, and it's just really robust, and it really takes a slow cooking. There's something about it that once you cook it, then you rest it for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, it actually absorbs moisture back in. So you get this beautiful, very moist, very, very luxurious, robust, smoky meat. So we put it in a rub of some pepper, some salt, some black pepper and white pepper to be specific, and then smoked it for about 7 hours. So 7 hours. 7 hours was part of that cooking. It's a hot smoke. But when you get the recipes as well, guys, I've kind of like made that a little bit simpler for you. So we've just done kind of like a bit of a smoke it on your barbecue recipe, and then finish it in the oven, which is perfectly fine. It's a slow cooked piece of meat, really. It's going to be delicious and juicy. It's
probably one of those cuts of meat. I mean, you know, this meat is fabulous, and it's coming from the brilliant H.G. Walter, but it's a sort of cut that a butcher, I mean, you go and ask for it, and there's just a smile on their face, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just brisket's one of those, really. If you really know what you're doing with grilling, it really is. After ribeye is a prime cut, it's actually a secondary cut. The brisket, they grind it up, put it in burgers and stuff like that, because it's got that great fat that we just talked about. So the spring onion you've just seen, absolutely annihilated with my sharp knife.
Well done.
And then the parsnip is in there. So we've got the parsnip, then we're going to get this. I'll tell you what, we'll finish with.
Hold on, finish off with that.
So you will have a stick of celery. So I will just take my pick from here. And we'll just pop that over there. Half a parsnip, guys, because we're super kind, as I say all the time. A cook's tour, just filling your fridge up. Who was it? I think, was it Michael on the feed? Michael, you did say that a good measure sometimes is a lunch that you may get off a meal the next day.
Yeah.
So I hope you're all finding that value that Michael does. So Michael, it's good.
Good.
Good
yeah, I always get very excited by leftovers.
Leftovers,
yeah,
absolutely love it.
Ready in the fridge.
So basically, let's have a little look. So we've got 2 minutes left on our leek, which is fantastic. Just
great.
Take that timing.
Well done.
Like a pro today.
You're in sync.
So you can do this if you want, because I think there's a certain luxury in having nice segments in here, and it eats really well. You don't get all those fibres, but if you really want to just slice it across really thin, you can also do that.
You want that texture?
Yeah, I want the texture. I like
quite a good idea to do it over the bowl, because I can see that all the sort of it's all dripping through.
Let's do that from a height so people can really see. And it's the same when you're zesting. We talked about that amazing zest. If you want to keep it, you if you're ever zesting into a cake mixture or over whatever you're making, putting zest into a cake, always do it over the bowl. If you get down at face level and you watch what's happening, you actually see little clouds of mist, and that's literally kind of the oil part of the zest. It's a really, really good tip there. And you see people like doing it onto a board and then scraping it. You're probably leaving the best bit on your board that's almost invisible. So grapefruit goes in there.
That's looking good. Good colours too. You must be excited by the arrival of spring and the ingredients that are finally sort of becoming available.
Well, yeah, it's quite challenging. Once after Christmas, you know, you're kind of a bit sick of the roots. You know, over the past few months, we've done some, and then that last bit there.
Oh yeah, squeeze it out.
Really good to get that, and that's a very important part, because it's going to macerate those root vegetables. Some of them are a little bit thicker. There's the celery and the spring onion. Yeah. Finally, the apple, which we're going to cut now, are all kind of broken down quite easy. But the enzymes in the acid are going to break down that parsnip and celeriac and make it a little bit more palatable. I love a little bit of crunch. You've got these soft meats going on, soft beans, you know, sticky jack potatoes, and a real gnarly kind of slaw, and I wanted it to be quite robust for you guys at home. Now, you're thinking apple, could we use anything else? Yeah, of course you could.
Pear?
Get straight onto a pear. Get straight onto whatever you want, as long as it's not mushy.
So is there a particular combination of sort of fruit and veg that you should probably try and do? You've got something fruity,
I mean,
citrus, root veg.
Roasted pork, parsnips, apple, you can see where we're going. You know, you're looking at remoulade, so you're looking kind of, we've got a little bit of whole grain mustard, we've got some apple juice and cider vinegar in the dressing. So you can see really, the thing about me, Charlie, when we're developing these menus, and I involve you in a big part of that because you're a bit of a foodie, I bounce all these ideas off you.
We do love having a chat, don't we?
I really don't create brand new things. I look at things that work and I reinvent them. You've got to see where you're at. You know, as a young chef, I didn't really know who I was and what I was going to do. I was just copying, and there we go. There's our timer. That's fantastic for our leek. We'll come to that. It doesn't really overcook. You can see it's nice and tender there. Just give that a little push. You guys can see the pan.
Oh yeah.
You can see it's nice and tender. So just leave that in the water till we're ready. It's really not something that's time sensitive.
Yeah. But now, as you are, you know, a slightly more mature cook, are you much more confident about your...
Well, as I think I've said in the past, there's winging it because you don't know what you're doing, there's winging it because you do know what you're doing, and that's because you know the foundations, you know the boundaries, what you can push. And we start working, like in a few shows back in Vietnam, you know, talk about the sweet, sour, bitter. You just start working from this, really. It needs a bit of acidity, is it quite flat, does it need a lift, and what is that? Is it a vinegar, a citrus? So.
And do you feel the pressure? I mean, do you feel the pressure? You know, well, I mean, you know, doing these cook-alongs, you know, you're putting your food out there, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you've got hundreds of people cooking along at home.
Yeah, now you've said it, I'm starting to
the
sweat
spotlight is on you.
Honestly, no, no, I like it. I cook because it sounds quite deep, this, but I love to give gifts to people and stuff. It sounds quite spiritual. It's really not. It's like when you get someone a nice gift, or you create something, a painting or something sentimental. I get to create a dish. And, oh my God, what's that? It smells amazing. You make this. It's, you know, it's a big celebration, and that becomes a little bit addictive. And it's not just for that. I really enjoy food and really enjoy creating. If I can share that with as many people as possible.
Okay, so what's in that dressing?
And that's amazing. So apple cider vinegar.
Yep.
Dijon mustard. Apple juice, a little bit of lemon juice, touch of garlic, and a little bit of whole grain mustard. So again, just looking at that on the overhead, you can see you've got citrus, you've got zing, you've got onion, bringing a bit of savouriness, you've got crunch, you've got sass and beautifulness ready to pair up.
And you need all that crunch and zip with the unctuousness of all that.
A little bit of garlic in here goes a long way. I'm talking like a little nugget of garlic. So we just need to kind of move that around a little bit.
And that actually just wants to sort of improve over time, doesn't it? Because I guess all the acidity is going to break it down.
We've delivered the celeriac in a little bit of lemon juice, and that's just been, while it's been kind of like arriving to you guys, just been macerating a little bit.
Oh, cool.
So that's good to go as well. I just need to make sure I'm trying my food as well. Rest assured, guys, that we try and season things like the marinades and stuff to try and not take that away from you, but if you feel it needs a pinch of salt, add a few bits of salt. But I think this is something that, being quite zingy and quite pure, will balance with the meats that have had like salty marinades on and stuff.
Yeah, happy? It's really important, isn't it, to try as you cook. You've got to keep tasting and just, you know, adjusting those.
It's very delicious, yeah. Okay,
right.
So, onto the leek.
Onto the leek, okay, so let's rescue that.
Should we just have a little look at our potatoes?
Oh, good idea. Let's get those out. Let's see how they're improving.
It's a good thing as well, not just to check the potatoes. Just bring these up here, just to see what's going on.
Over here.
And we're halfway on the potatoes, really. My tasting spoon over there. So some more here. Now you've got all that butter, you've got the fat solids in there. You just want to coat them. It's a bit like a roast potato number, this. But we've got probably about another 20 minutes, 25 minutes on this. This can take as long, it depends on the potato and the density of the potato. But coat them up. That butter is going to work an absolute dream. I should probably finish my coleslaw first. Just trying to chat for a mouthful of celery and apple. So, nice and beautiful. Make sure they're all separated. And just have a smell of that. Don't touch it, it's very hot. You smell the brown butter, the sugar in there.
Yeah, that's very good.
So it is. So we're just going to...
And actually, sort of almost, I mean, we'll see how we're doing on time, but it might be that at home you might just want to leave those in the oven just a little bit longer.
Yeah,
because the longer you leave them, the more sort of caramelized, I guess, they'll become, won't they?
Definitely. It's not a bad thing. The longer the better with those, a bit like a roast potato as well. Time pays dividends.
There it is. There's your barrel of leek.
That's it, guys.
That's it, dish done.
If you would be, Charlie, if you could be an absolute gent.
Yeah,
now we've seen in the past what you do with water, so a little bit here.
Okay,
Would you just pop that in the sink?
Yeah.
Very hot water, guys. Safety first, as always.
You want the pan back?
Yeah, I would like the pan back. And then we're going to go big. We're going to go big on our leek. And this is a really, really interesting thing for you guys at home, to really look at a leek in a whole different new light and be like, hey leek, I'm here with you. Let's go to a new place. And we're just going to literally blacken this off. Going to get a bit of smoke. And also, I've just realised that I probably need a little bit of fat.
Oh, okay.
So,
you're going to steal some fat from your tatties.
That's just how we roll. Think. Chefs, we're never defeated. So we're just going to...
That's a good idea.
Just coat a little bit of fat off the butter. We're just going to blacken this up in a pan. And again, today we're focusing on flavours: sweet, sticky, smoky, char, bitter. You know, got a sweet leek. Why not toast it up? Just like me getting carried away with my new cloths. So we've got full heat on there. And we're just going to pop it in. We're going to blacken it up, but we need that to be really, really hot.
The pan really hot?
Yeah.
Okay.
So should we just have a little look how a few other things are going?
Yeah. How's the sous videing?
The sous vide is good.
That's looking good.
Yeah, and again, it's just a heat game. You just want to feel that beef. That's getting beautiful.
Great.
So now I'm really happy that I'm just going to turn the heat down on it. Potatoes are going.
Potatoes going.
Yeah.
The smoker is smoking.
Yeah, and the slaw's done.
The beans are okay.
So now's the time. We can probably just pop this and just give it a nice little coat like so.
Yeah.
Asbestos hands.
Oh.
And that's what we want. As we like to say, sizzle, sizzle.
That's it, chef.
Let's give this a little wipe down here.
Yeah.
Have a little tidy up. So I hope you're enjoying yourselves at home, guys. This is potentially the one where I get to make a mess and smoke the whole place out. We put so much thought into it. It's actually quite calm and collected, isn't it?
It is.
It's quite zen in here.
It is very zen.
So yeah, now with this leek, what we're trying to achieve here.
Yeah, tell us.
I do get a bit carried away, running away with things and people hitting the pause button. So it might be a nice little bit of a treat tonight to be following along at a nice pace. What we're looking for is we're just looking to...
Oh, there you go, happening already.
And it happens quite a lot. You've got to look at
Amazing.
You've got to look at onions, peppers, nightshade vegetables, tomatoes, aubergines, courgettes, and what's great to do with them. Summer, barbecue, because they've got natural sugars and they want caramelizing, and they carry that bitterness with the rest of the sweet flesh that they have, which is incredible. And leeks are in there, and as they're in that category. And chefs, we look at leeks like leeks aren't just something you have on a roast. And I'm thinking, in the UK, look at that side already.
Brilliant.
And chefs, we look at leeks like you can do loads of stuff. They make a great puree. They go well with things like truffle. They go well with citrus, salty cheeses, goat's cheeses, and all that. But also with barbecue beans, Mr. Charlie.
Barbecue beans.
So let's get those beans on as well while we're talking about those.
Well, I think you've got them on a low heat.
I have. I'm just going to turn them up.
Okay, you're going to razz them up a bit.
Yeah. And this really is.
That's looking great. I love that.
Yeah, it is.
I love that charring.
Come on,
it's good to have smoke back in the studio.
Let's go. We're back.
Yeah, God, it's taking me back to Alps.
It starts. Okay, so this is really, really beautiful. And the sugar, and like I said,
well,
in the
that
leek.
caramelization is going to...
Yeah, and look what we're doing it with. Minimal oil.
Yeah.
Minimal oil. That smoke's infusing it as well, smoking the leeks. You've got smoky beans, smoky leek, sweet inside, tangy apple. It's an absolute...
I've got a feeling this is one of those dishes that actually would make just a really good little sort of meal on its own.
Yeah.
You know, it's doing the job of a jacket potato, isn't it?
Yeah, well it is, and we're going to serve it a little bit like a jacket potato, funnily enough. And I think we've got the sticky jack potatoes and the starch, a low starch playing elsewhere, and that's why it gave way for some nice beans.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are pretty much ready to go on this. Let's lift it out.
Okay. Oh, hot.
Asbestos hands, come on. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Chef asbestos hands. Now we've got a few options here, Charlie.
Oh dear, that always makes me a bit nervous.
Yeah, so first off
is to
turn that pan off.
Yeah, turn off that pan.
You turn this pan up.
That pan up, okay.
Yeah, here we go. So I hope you guys can see it. Let's move that slaw out of the way a little bit if that's okay. And we literally just want to make, I'm thinking we just keep it big. We'll just make a little...
I think keep it big, I think, yeah.
Keep it big, go big.
Cool.
And what we want to do is...
This is Texas after all.
Just want to make a little incision down the middle. So I've left kind of like half a thumb.
Yeah.
My thumb, your thumb.
Yeah.
I think we're there, so yeah, good inch, half an inch. We are giants really, aren't we?
Okay, and I'm just going to lever it open a bit.
And just lever it open a little bit. There we go. So a bit like
You're going to put it in that pan because I know you've got your eye on that for later.
a bit like surgery. Well, the thing is, yeah, actually, I'm not going to use that pan. We don't need to put it in a pan. We can put it on a tray.
Good.
Then we're going to come back to it. So let me grab myself a little tray. What, we can use this tray.
Yes.
Everything's starting to smoke, Charlie, and it's meant to be off. So, shall we put, I'll tell you what, let's put the pork in just to heat up a little bit. So the pork, which is well smoked, guys, we're going to pop that in the oven now.
Okay.
Just give that a little bit of heat. So the reason we're doing that is because the pork from that smoking would have got quite a bit of heat, but is it going to be table heat that we're getting from it? Probably not. So we just want to pop it in now and give it a little kick in the butt. Yeah? You're waiting for that one. There's an opportunity there.
Forgive the dad gags.
There we go.
Okay, so pork in the oven with the tin foil on.
Yeah.
It's at 180, isn't it? Which is the temperature that we've got the tatties in there.
Yep.
And then that's going to be in there for, you know, however long it needs to be, which is what, 5–10 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And we'll go back to the leek.
Yeah, we're going to go back to the leek. So just be careful not to cut the end, because as you can see, I've just burst the end a little bit, but that's fine. And we're just going to pop that in the oven, just to keep it nice and warm while we get our cookie ready.
Okay.
So we're there, nice and calm. And then, Charlie, we're nearly ready to play. We don't need to cook that.
Brilliant.
We just want it to be nice and hot.
Brilliant. So this is
it's a big moment.
It's a big moment. There's been a lot of conversation about this cookie.
There is.
And Ryan was like, just got to put it on the menu. And you just wouldn't have anything else come off the menu. So we just thought, well, 6 dishes it is.
I said to you, Charlie, didn't I? I said, Charlie, just feel like we need a dessert on here, but it's all smoky, it's all sticky. Which one goes? And you said no. You said, well, I think we've got to keep them all. They've all got a roll. So you've got a bonus track today, guys, and I hope you enjoy it. So we've got a pan skillet cookie, and it's really, there's no etiquette in this. We'll try and get it out now. So there's no etiquette in that.
That's just like cookie dough, hey?
Just like cookie dough. We just want to pop it.
You're just going to just leave it like that? That's it?
It's done. And now we are ready to plate the dishes. So what I'm going to suggest is, guys, if you've got a little Le Creuset pot and you're a bit like, I don't have a pan like that, that's fine. A little Le Creuset pot. We had some other dishes like this, just to show you, so you could have something like this. Anything that's got a low side. This is going to go on 180 for about 8 minutes, so we're going to plate the rest of the jazz. Just all nice and calm. So we're going to plate the rest of the jazz. We're going to pull this out at the end, but I would suggest you get to this stage and you're like, okay, he said just leave it, because the art of a pan cookie, a great pan cookie, is to have an undercooked kind of cookie. So if you cook it, take it out, eat your dinner, it's going to be there cooking, you're going to have a basic cookie and think that cook store's rubbish. So listen carefully. Get it like that.
Get it like that.
I'm going to pop that in the oven now. That's going to take about 8 to 9 minutes, give or take. You're looking, I'll show you when it comes out, you're looking for a liquid kind of cookie. We're going to put some delicious, beautiful, sour yogurt, creme fraiche on it, and it's going to be delicious.
Amazing.
Should we pop that in now?
Let's pop that in now.
Yeah.
And we can start plating.
So if you want to
let's get this board out of the
we'll
way.
bring our serving plate over.
Oh.
Absolutely amazing. I really thought it was going to go off today with all the smoke, and I think I've actually put so much thought into it. This is what I should have been doing every week, Charlie. I just feel like this could be a real turning point in a cook's tour, you know?
Well,
if you did it on Texas Smoke, Ryan, why can't you do it now? But like I said, we put it in the food, not in the studio air. So it's a different kind of smoke we're going for today, but the blue smoke is all about the flavour. It's all about that kind of respect to the Texas smoke cooking.
okay, so there's still a few
Let's go,
finishing moments over there, isn't there?
Okay, so cookie dough is going in.
Cookie dough in.
Yep.
But don't at home, unless you want to have your dessert before you've eaten the main event.
So cookies going in. I'm going to put a timer on there as well. So I'm going to put 8 minutes and we're going to give it a little check.
Okay.
I'm going to bring that Texas pot out there. I'm going to leave the potatoes in right until the mark, until they're
We
ready.
need to have an oven cam on this evening because it's quite interesting to see sort of Ryan juggling everything inside.
Yeah, the thing is, it can be all pans or all oven, can't it? But the nature of cooking is that we're here to have a big delivery.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a beautiful big platter, so just stick that on there. Absolute dream. Love that. So pop this over here out the way. And then we are going to go some beans to finish that off. If you'd be an absolute legend, could you just unwrap that and just cut, maybe if you imagine, so you've got some of this to go in the fridge, guys. This is a smoked caramelized onion butter. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Okay.
We're just going to layer some of these up in here.
And would you like me to slice this in half?
Maybe that's like three or four portions. So, I mean, it's going to be some butter that just melts over.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you do that.
Now, with this kind of food, what we're looking for is for it to overflow, melt onto the side, melt onto the floor. That's when I'm happy. So it's real rustic kind of put together here. And
I'm going to leave the butter to you because you know what? This is you know, you're the boss, you're the sheriff. Ah, yeah, there you go. Okay, I get the idea.
I'm going to stack that on there like that. And that's just going to ooze everywhere. It's not going to stay there for too long. It's just going to melt, just like a potato. It'll be absolutely delicious. Honestly, it's one of the most phenomenal things to eat. I love it. So the brisket, pop that out there, and then go fishing for some whiskey jus.
Yeah.
I've got to try and get that out now, Charlie.
Yeah, I think you might need your oven gloves.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got some whiskey jus over here. So that's going to be very hot, guys, so just be a little bit careful when you get that out. So bring this over here. So we'll go with our brisket now.
And what are you thinking? Is everything just going to be, you're just laying it all out?
Yeah, well, we're going to go and get some scissors first so that I can open this. And then, yeah, I think, do you know what? I like these big, almost like, it's not a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Just like a big kind of banquet. I'm going to open that again because we've got the slippiest fingers. So, just going to open that up like so.
Oh, look at that.
Ooze that out there. So just split the colours a little bit. As you can see, look at the bounce in that. There's some beautiful smoky meat there. It's going to be delicious. So 22 hours cooking. This guy's just like, warm me up. Let's see what we can do. And then you're going to get on here with the whiskey jus. So we're not going to pour this on because we're going to have a nice little kind of jus moment there. So we'll just pop it there.
Great.
So it looks absolutely phenomenal. And then
bring that over here for the reveal. Let's have a look.
Okay, so here we go.
A moment of truth. Oh,
look
hello.
At that. Bang, bang.
Oh, that is smoking.
I don't, do you know
look,
what?
you
I'm
see all the little
a bit
chips.
lost for words because I really, really like this kind of food.
It's beautiful.
And this is kind of food, for once in my chef career, I don't have to do too much talking. Not because of what we've achieved at the cooking with the team, but just because you need to let, I mean, watch this as it comes out.
Oh gosh, because it almost
look at that. It's just wanting to fall apart. Now, if you've been absolute diamond, that's hot.
That's a little bit hot.
Would you like to take my cloth from there, Charlie?
I would, excuse me.
You get to touch me, there you
go.
go. Okay, so we pop that over there. This is an absolute dream to plate. So you want to go with the cheese, guys. Now, while that's nice and hot and smoky, you can see the colour that's changed on it as well. Absolutely amazing. Just want to break some of this cheese over the top. And blue cheese and pork, why not? That's just going to soften up on top there. If you've add all your ingredients out, it's going to be nice and soft. Got a beautiful, beautiful English blue cheese there. A bit like Gorgonzola Dolce, it's just going to kind of relax.
God, we need to lie down after eating all this.
Yeah, it is, and what a nice way to kind of plate it. The beer pickles as well, we'll just leave them over here, clean my spoon a little bit.
So you'll leave those out in the jar. And so those are pickles are going to accompany the pork collar?
Yeah, I'm going to get a few out, but yeah, because you've got all that fatty pork and then some of those pickles on there. We've got some delicate pumpkin, Romanesco, cauliflower. You can really pickle whatever you want.
Love that.
Just get a little bit of that kind of pickle over there to cut through. So leave that there, it's absolutely delicious. And then some of the slaw.
Heave ho.
Some of the slaw, just get a little bit of height on there. My little big Jamie Oliver moment. Kind of just spruce it up and then just garnish with some of the beautiful little bits on top. Nice little pieces of apple.
Gosh, it's so
and you know, there's a lot of value.
Come together, hey.
There's a lot of value as well with this kind of food because of what it delivers in flavour.
I'm itching for you just to sort of spoon a little bit of this over the brisket.
Yeah, well maybe you can do that, Charlie.
Oh, okay. I just think this is going to...
Sticky jack potatoes. Now, in perfect time, I would probably like these to go for another 10 minutes.
Okay.
But just because we haven't really got that, if it's not that browned enough, you can let yours go for another 10 minutes, but these are perfectly cooked and they're lovely. So there's a few that are not cooked, so I'm going to take the ones that are cooked. I'm just going to kind of dance a few of these around. But as well, depending, you might have cut them really, really big. Just do it in your own time, guys.
Yeah.
Just put a few of these around here. So a nice little stack. These ones are all cooked in the middle. And then all these little gnarly bits at the bottom that I really, really like. All these kind of burnt bits of butter, really, really important to get some of those on. So I love those. Yeah. I'll just pop a few over here near the beef as well. Add a nice little bit of colour. Yep, and then we'll pop those back in the oven because those ones need a little bit more. There's a lot going on here, isn't there, Charlie? Got a little bit of sweat going on here.
Yeah, and
this is what. Do you think this is what it's like over the fire pits? Just sweating, turning all the beef and stuff. So we've got a garlicky, so it's caramelised garlic, cultured yogurt, and honey dressing, and this is just absolutely phenomenal. Over here, real nice and beautiful. Now you're looking at it thinking, oh, does it need a bit of parsley or a bit of cress? Because that's the world we're from. We're about colours and aesthetics. This isn't like that, Charlie.
No, it's not.
Just gotta. This is pit food. This is, you know,
sort of food.
Chicken wings, smoke.
But you could always, you know, sneak a little cactus on there. You know, just a little bit of greenery if we like.
Exactly. So.
You got a few more minutes on that? That's okay. Give it a few more minutes, and we'll
2 minutes.
We'll get that out in a second, because what we can certainly do is just to remind everyone at home, of course,
what we've got.
So Ryan, give us the lowdown.
So we've got, starting with the most incredible 22-hour cooked smoked brisket, which again is an incredible piece of beef from a variety of beef called Hereford, which is amazing. We've also got some pork collar here, which we've just smoked, and you guys have smoked at home. That's been slow cooked and then just toasted after that period, and you've just smoked it, and that's served with some blue cheese, which you can see is just oozing down the side with some beer pickles. We've got some sticky jack potatoes with real garlicky cultured honey yogurt, and a beautiful toasted leek with some barbecue beans. Finish with the one and only crunchy spring/winter/summer, whenever you want it, because it's delicious, mustard, apple, parsnip, celeriac slaw.
Incredible. Wow. And look, I'm going to slide on, which I'm afraid the ice has now melted a bit more, but Johan's wonderful.
Looks like a feast.
Old-fashioned, smoked old-fashioned. Yeah, it's a proper feast. So everyone at home, look, please, you know, take photographs. Plate as you wish. You know, this is how Ryan's done it today, and I think it's looking fabulous. But plate as you wish, and send us those photographs, because of course there is a chance of you winning a free box in 2 weeks' time. So post using the hashtag #CookWithRocket and tag a cook's tour. Great. So in 2 weeks, we have got some big news that the one and only, the incredible Angela Hartnett is coming to the A Cook's Tour kitchen. She is going to be teaching you all at home how to make pasta from scratch, the way that her grandmother taught her. No machine required, Mr. Chef Ryan Stafford. But it's a very, very special evening. So if you would like to join us on that, then please go online to the A Cook's Tour website and book your tickets. It would be fabulous to see you all there. So just a reminder of our friends and family referral. Please tell your friends. There's lots of great incentives to get people to join A Cook's Tour. More the merrier. And on cue, we have the arrival of the pan cookie.
And this is it, guys. So as you can see on the overhead, we've got a pan cookie, half cooked, absolutely beautiful. That stays in the pan. Give it 2 or 3 minutes when it comes out just to rest up. We're going to plonk a perfect little number there. Hopefully you can get that on. I'm going to leave that there to remind myself that it's hot, so I don't scald my hands, and do the same at home. And we've got some vanilla creme fraiche here, which is absolutely delicious, which we're going to serve alongside it. I just can't wait to tuck into this. It smells insane.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
So straight in the middle, as you do. As you can see, liquid cookie. What more do you want? Definitely not going to sleep tonight. Who cares? Because it's well worth it. And that is it, guys. It's a wrap.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, everyone at home, for joining us. Have a fantastic dinner, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.